Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good evening so far. Let me get Genshin Impact up on here. Alright. So I did finish the Chiori story quest yesterday. So now the only thing left to focus on is the Lynette hangout event, and we've only got one ending on that so far. We've still got 4 more to go, so yeah, we'll be going for the second ending tonight.
Add Astra.
Does that actually add to this at all? No, it doesn't. Okay. Alrighty. So let's pull up Lynette here. Alright, let's see. I mean, this was a long hangout event. Bro, can you go any faster? Jeez. Oh, okay, there's a short little branch here, so we can probably get the second ending here pretty quickly, I would think. Let's see. Gina wishes to apologize for foolishment and the punishment recommended by Lynette. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna have to do, but we'll see. Bro, where have they got me going here? Jeez, I don't remember having to go this far into the damn building. Okay.
Thank you both so much. Without the two of you, who knows how much further down that cynical path I would have gone. I always told myself that once I'd made enough Mora, I'd get back to doing what I loved. But somewhere along the way, I started to lose sight of what that was. Just like those critics with their dishonest reviews, I became all about the trappings of success, at the expense of the art itself.
Bro, for a sec there, I was like, wait a sec, didn't we already do this? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because I'm doing a hangout event over again, and I have to find the branch. Okay. And, alright. And you've got an amazing group of talented people behind you.
You're right. Yes. I'm a very lucky man. Anyway, enough about my problems. What are we going to do about the threat letter that Lynette received? I've been looking into it a lot over the past couple of days, but it doesn't seem like it was one of our competitors after all.
Ah, yes, about that. Lynette, do you have a moment?
Wait, you're Jillian's sister, right?
I'm sorry. Gina insisted on coming to see Lynette. I couldn't stop her.
Lynette, I'm sorry!
Lynette just shot me a glance. I think she's unsure which mode to use in this situation. Okay, this is probably the branch right here. Performance. What's she talking about? Never heard of it. Okay, we only got to draw a 6. Oh, and I get plus. So, I mean, it's literally already decided unless there's a 0 card in here, which I don't think there is. Okay.
Yeah, me neither. Wait, but... Oh, do you mean when we ran into you at the Fleuve Sandra? And you said some mean things to me? As I recall, you were only trying to look out for your sister. It was just a few words spoken in anger. Don't worry. Whatever it was you said, I've already forgotten.
Oh. I see. Well, it sounds like Gina knows what she did was wrong. Owning up to your mistakes and committing to do better in the future is what counts.
I understand that feeling of wanting to stand up for your family when they're being mistreated. Really, I do.
Is it just me, or does the webcam seem to be a little, just slightly out of focus? Yeah, it is, actually. I wonder if it's... Get the focus here. There we go. Yeah, that's weird. I put it on autofocus and it, like, I don't know. Autofocus doesn't work very well apparently. But okay, we should be good now.
But next time, maybe consider a different tactic? Something you can pull off more effectively and without arousing suspicion.
Stop giving her ideas.
Got it. Thank you, Lynette.
Why do I feel like I'm missing something here?
Hello, Chen. How are you doing?
Hey, here you are. I was wondering where you'd all run off to.
Great! Everyone's in one place. That makes this so much easier.
What's up?
What do you think? It's group photo time! We have to commemorate the debut of the Lost Puppet Director's Edition. Okay, everyone, we all have pretty awkward smiles on our faces in the photo from Hotel de Boer, so this time, no forced smiles allowed.
Oh, am I really not allowed to force a smile?
Background look different. You mean the camera? You're talking about this right here, the webcam? Yeah, I changed webcams. So, yeah, it looks a little different now. Different angle.
I'll try, I suppose. I think I can manage.
Lynette, Traveler, come on! You two should be right in the middle.
Before this change, I was using like a 15-year-old webcam, so...
3, 2, 1, smile!
Alrighty. Well, there's our second ending. That was really quick. So let's see here. Ending hints. Damn. That's interesting. I've never seen ending hints before. I think they're thinking this branch right here is like difficult enough to find, or it's got a super specific or shit, it might just come down to what if you can pass all the different checks or whatever. But anyway, I believe, yeah, so we've exhausted this branch, the top branch here. So we've got 2 branches that happen here pretty early on. So did I decide to return to the banquet celebrating our successful debut? Okay. Yeah, so I think now we choose, instead of going to the post-performance party, we instead choose to
May the glory of the prinzessin bring light.
tend to the cat instead.
Huh. I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just... Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know. Let's see... Which card did I get? 4. Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Linny said. So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer. Or... Why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means... our fates are, like, interfering with each other.
You should leave the razzle-dazzling to Linny.
Thank you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the Fateometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. Anything lower than 5 is a fail. Also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
Okay, so we did. I think you should head back to the drinks reception. So I'm gonna do, I think you should help Bonnie.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner?
So how do you plan to find Bonnie's owner?
I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You wanna come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
Sure, if it means I get to hang out with you for a bit longer. Sounds like something I would say when I'm around Navia. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to this girl here?
Every stupendous
Alrighty.
day starts with a Steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with?
Any commissions in there about a missing cat?
I don't think so. Have you picked up a stray?
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now. If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you.
Looking forward to it.
Alright, see you then.
Alright. There's a notice. Oh. Okay. Well, good thing we're not using a mobile device. The chance abnormal plants would be generated. Oh. Okay.
I created another universe.
So we want 7. Bro. Oh, wonderful. My controller is... Look at this. Great. So that makes me wonder. Oh, yeah, it does it a little bit here, it looks like. Yep. Okay. Hold on. Oh, now it's not doing it. It's weird. Huh. Anyway.
In fact,
Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing?
paradise for us.
I believe this cat belongs to me.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
What's going on?
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you. At least for now.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
The way she speaks is loud and authoritative. It's like she's deliberately using her tone of voice to dispel any doubts about her integrity.
No, it's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society.
How about we let Bonnie decide?
Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Let's see who Bonnie decides to approach. Okay, we got no modifier, so we gotta straight up get an 8 or above here. Woo, got it.
Well, this complicates things.
It seems she quite likes me.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's normal for her not to trust me.
Yeah, actually, that makes it kind of a bad idea to do it this way then, doesn't it?
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. You can hardly expect the cat to recognize me.
Then how are you so sure she belongs to you?
She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case. If she turns out to be one of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in, if no one else comes to claim her, that is.
What's the Humane Society?
We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
The Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat? If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
It belongs to my friend.
With us here to keep watch, it should be fine.
Go on, Bunny.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
Also, wouldn't they have, like, tagged the cat? Like, shouldn't they have, like, put, like, a collar around him with a tag on it or something? So, is this your friend's cat?
Yes, exactly.
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here, Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation.
Great. Here comes the long story that we're gonna have to sit through now.
A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him.
If I were on the run...
The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the Guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations. If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead.
So what's been smuggled?
A new kind of illegal drug. Imitation synth. We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix.
Hey Zane, how you doing?
And criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly. After the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed.
I like how Ox types sometimes. It's just interesting. You put I, and then you put the rest of your sentence in the next thing. You like split sentences up into like 4 or 5 different chats. It's just unusual. Alright, what's your excuse now, Zane, for missing yesterday? Or were you just busy with work?
The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner.
Who is he exactly?
He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre Lefebvre, to be exact.
You forgot? Oh, okay.
Lefebvre.
A slight look of dread just crossed Lynette's face. Strange. She usually schools her expressions with mechanical precision.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson. In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him. At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that.
Oh, I see. Zane got distracted yet again.
It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lefebvre family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine. Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
Could his family be hiding him?
That's not possible, actually. The Lefebvre family has been gone for a long time.
Well, I'm sorry, Zane. You missed, in Chaos Head, you missed, Remy having a scene where she wore nothing but bra, panties, and an open shirt.
Exactly. Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch,
Missing out,
were
man.
murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit. The family is engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity.
Can this
Pierre
woman
is one
just
of those
get to
very
the
survivors.
freaking point,
He's been hiding away in the
please?
Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is.
Oh yeah, that is true. We didn't actually see her panties. We only saw her legs. But is it really okay to share all this information with us?
Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice. There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout. If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that.
Yeah. So that's how, yeah, that was how the branch from the main story started. Was, yeah, in the big fight between Remy and Senna, Kazupi got more involved in the fight, and yeah, Remy kind of killed both of them. She didn't really kill Senna, she just got, she gave Senna a delusion, and then the delusion wound up causing Senna to fall off the building, so... So we should keep Bonnie with us for the time being?
I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
What's wrong?
It's nothing. I'm fine. It's just... the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home. But before anything worse could happen, Father intervened.
Wait, did we know about this before? I don't remember Lynette ever talking about being kidnapped. So that's what happened.
Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Linny and I to join the House of the Hearth.
Wait, so you're saying... You're saying her father set her up to get kidnapped? That's pretty fucked up.
After all these
like,
years...
bro.
I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
Are you okay?
Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Linny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job. Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fremine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time.
You think he knows about Pierre?
It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though.
Who are you talking to, Ox?
Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way.
Along the way? Are we going somewhere?
Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode, and then we'll head out. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into Linny along the way.
I see. You are talking to YouTube, I see. Are you trying to help out Linny with his investigation?
A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what.
Ooh. Sometimes you just gotta take the bull by the horns, right?
Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
Okay. Well, that's gonna do it for the encounter points.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing today's. Ad Astra.
Third mount. No, dude, it's the same room. It's the same. It's just it's a different angle now. Launcher update. Okay. Yeah, you don't recognize the poster right here? I think wasn't that poster in the other angle? Pretty sure it was. All right, Chaos Head. Okay. So, yeah. Chapter 9, Remy. Okay. So, I guess to recap the events of yesterday, I went through a few more delusions involving Remy. They were all green delusions. One of the delusions, it was, well, so it was the scene where Remy is just hanging out over at Takumi's place, and I think it was like in chapter 7 or something, and it's the one that we've seen before where Remy, where like when Takumi looks away from Remy and then like looks back at her, she's suddenly in like different clothes than her Suime Academy outfit. And then when she gets up and leaves to go, I think she goes to grab something to eat. Takumi looks at her again, and then she's back in her Suime uniform again. Well, this time they changed it from the clothes that she was wearing before to now just being in bra and panties and like an open shirt. There was also another delusion we went through where they were at the like that CD store or whatever, the music store, and Rimi told Takumi to like sit down with his legs spread out, and then she like sat down with him like on top of one of his legs, and yeah, basically most of the green delusions that involve Rimi are like horny delusions. So yeah. But then when we reached chapter 9, we got the branch, which I explained just a few minutes ago. The big fight with Senna. We found out that the delusion that Senna has, where she sees her father, we find out that that delusion was actually created by Rimi herself. But this time the delusion actually causes Senna to fall off the building and fall to her death. And then Rimi also had to fight Kazupi, but she just like stabbed Kazupi all the way through her body and killed her. So that's where we left off right after that scene. Senna and Kazupi were dead. They'd died right in front of me. Rimi had killed them. And now Rimi was asleep on my sofa. After Kazupi had died, Rimi had started shaking and screaming, and then passed out. It had taken me a while to recover from the shock, but I was so scared, and I certainly didn't want to see Kazupi's bloody corpse anymore. I'd picked Rimi up and brought her inside. Rimi would let out an occasional moan, but no matter how many times I called her name, she wouldn't get up. I sat on the floor waiting for her to wake up. My body was shaking so badly. Kazupi and Senna were dead. They weren't like the new gen victims. They weren't strangers. They were people I knew. People I knew. The three of us had all eaten garugari-kuns together the other day. Me, Senna, and Kazupi. I looked at the photo we'd taken and bit my lip. My mind kept replaying the nightmare I'd just experienced over and over again. The bright red of Kazupi's blood, the slick, glistening red bones sticking out of her body, the empty, lightless eyes. What'd you miss? Takumi brought Rimi's unconscious body back with him to his place. The fear and indescribable awful feeling that comes with seeing a person cease to be a person. The sight of her tiny body being torn apart refused to leave my brain. I'd never realized just how fragile a human being was. I felt like I was going to throw up. I'd already thrown up 3 times, actually. What had happened to Senna? This was an 8-story building. Nobody could survive a fall from that height. She was probably, no, definitely dead. The two of them were dead. This was impossible. It wasn't happening. It was a dream. It had to be a dream. They died in such horrible ways. And it was Remy that killed them too. I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe it. But it was the truth. I had no idea what had caused Senna and Kazupi to change so abruptly. They'd said something about IR2. It probably had something to do with the scribbles on my old essay, but that didn't matter now. Knowing that Remy was a gigalomaniac didn't shock me that much, either. Remy had fought them to protect me. Maybe she'd gone too far, but I wasn't going to blame her for it. Still, it wouldn't be long before Remy and I were arrested by the police. Senna and Kazupi's bodies were still out there. It wouldn't be long at all before somebody found them and called the cops. I couldn't let them arrest me. I wouldn't let them arrest me. I could just tell them the truth. I didn't kill the two of them. It was Remy. And Senna had attacked us first. So it was self-defense. But of course, that wouldn't work. I knew that much. They were practically ready to arrest me over the crucified case. I was sure it would be the same this time. And I couldn't live without Remy either. I needed Remy here to protect me from Shogun. If anything, I was glad Remy was a gigalomaniac. It meant that Remy wasn't helpless. She wasn't just a friendly teenage girl. She had the power to fight Shogun, and she was on my side. That's why I wanted her to wake up. I wanted her to wake up and get rid of Kazupi and Senna's bodies with her delusion power. Then the police couldn't come after us. Nobody had found us yet, right? I held back the urge to vomit and looked toward the door. On the other side of it was Kazupi's bloody corpse. Of the two, it was more likely that they'd find Senna's body before they found hers. But once they found her, it would be all over. With Remy still asleep, I had to do something to hide them. I was scared. I didn't want to look at a dead body, especially the dead body of someone I knew. I forced myself to go outside anyway, to protect myself and to protect Remy. The sun had already set. It was dark on the roof. The moon wasn't out. The clouds had hidden it. I squinted and looked in the direction of Kazupi's body. Huh? I couldn't find Kazupi anywhere. The blood was still there, so it wasn't a dream, but the body was gone. How? Confused, I looked over the edge of the roof to the street below. Nobody was down there. Senna's body wasn't there either. There was a pool of blood, but nobody seemed to have noticed it. Where was the body? When Remy had passed out, the body had been there. Remy hadn't used her gigalomaniac power to get rid of it. Then who? Ayase? But she was in a hospital in Yoyogi. Maybe Shogun? But he was my enemy. He wasn't going to do anything that would help me. What was going on? I sighed, feeling a mix of uneasiness and relief that the bodies were gone. I felt the prickling on the back of my neck. I was being watched. That same unknowable gaze. Shogun? Was he watching me?
僕を見るな。
I ran back into my room. Rimi was awake. She was looking around the room with a confused expression on her face. She'd woken up, evidently, but what was I supposed to say to her? Rimi had been badly traumatized by the shock of killing Senna and Kazupi. Of course she was. It wasn't like PKing in ESO. She'd said she didn't mean to kill them, too. I had no idea what to say to a person in that situation, so I said nothing at all. Rimi was looking at me, bewildered.
ここ、どこかな?
え?
あなたは誰?
Something was wrong.
リミ、どうしちゃったの?
リミって誰だろう? 私かな? 私、リミじゃないよ。
何言ってるんだよ。しっかりしてよ。
私の名前は、わかんないや。
嘘でしょ。嘘だよね。
I stormed over to Rimi.
本当だよ。
Suddenly she ran up and grabbed me. She rubbed her cheek up against me like a friendly pet. Caught off guard, I had no idea how to react.
あなた、誰？私のお友達かな？きっとそうだよね。お友達ってね、つまりね、私に親切にしてくれる人のこと。あなたは怒らない？私、怒られるのやだ。あとね、痛いのもすごくやだな。
Amnesia, and not just that, regression to being a little girl. I thought that only ever happened in H games. I definitely never thought that I'd see it in real life. But maybe it was possible. Rimi had really freaked out when she'd killed Kazupi. And
ギガロマニアックスとなったものは誰だろうと一度は壊れているんだよ。
That's what Senna had said before she died, too. Maybe Rimi had broken. I made my heart commit suicide. The words came to me. I couldn't remember when I'd heard them, but it felt like someone had said them to me before. What if the shock of killing Kazupi and Senna had caused Rimi to make her own heart commit suicide? And what if the person I was talking to was a newly born personality? That'd explain why she was acting like a child. DID, dissociative identity disorder. Multiple personalities was the more common name. That's what Yua had said I had. Of course she was wrong. I didn't have DID. But what if Remy did now? It was just a guess I had, but the Remy in front of me now was far different than the one I knew. What? This Remy was nothing like the one who'd been so kind to me before. The one who told me she'd stay with me.
こんなの
I dropped to my knees. I felt awful. Remy was looking into my eyes, confused. Her eyes were so pure, so innocent. I couldn't look back at her. Maybe I was lucky that Kazupi and Senna's bodies had disappeared. But with Remy like this, who was going to protect me? So wait, you're saying that Remy is an incel? Remy had, if I could call her Remy, totally lost her memories. Or maybe this Remy never had any memories in the first place.
私はリミっていうの？
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some water real quick. Alright, I am back. Mentally regressing to the age of a child in an H game sounds risky. True, it does sound risky, doesn't it?
うん。そうだよ。咲畑リミ。
咲畑リミ。そうなんだ。
She spoke like the name meant nothing to her at all.
あなたは？お名前、なんて言うのかな？
僕は西條匠。
She didn't even know my name? I felt a little depressed, thinking about all the other things I'd have to tell her.
西條匠。タクだね。
え？
タク。
The same. She was calling me the same thing.
ねえねえタク。あのね、私ね、手がベトベトしてるの。
There was dried blood stuck to her hands. It was dark black and belonged to Kazupi. At least it probably did. Kazupi had disappeared, but the blood was still there.
ベトベト。やだな。
She was looking at her hands glumly. I remembered Kazupi's smile and felt an aching pain in my chest. I tried to ignore it as I went to get a wet towel.
ほら、手出して。
Rimi nervously offered me both her hands. I wiped them with a towel. The white towel quickly turned red. I had to scrub pretty hard to get it all off. When I started scrubbing the spots between her fingers, she laughed happily. She didn't seem to wonder in the slightest why she had blood on her hands. Damn it. Why was I the only one who was concerned here? And why couldn't she wipe her own hands? Why did I have to take care of this little girl? No, I couldn't think that way. Rimi had tried to protect me, and whether intentionally or not, she'd killed someone in the process, and that had broken her. That's why I couldn't abandon her. It was partially my fault that she'd ended up this way.
ほら、綺麗になったよ。
ありがとう。ピカピカだ。私の手。すっきりしたよ。
She grabbed my hand and wrapped her fingers around mine. She was shaking her hands up and down innocently. She looked like a child having the time of her life. For some reason, seeing her smile made me feel sad.
ねえ、リミ。君は僕を守ってくれる？
守る？何を？
僕を。
あのね、私ね、よくわかんない。でもね、タコは私のお友達だから、私に親切にしてくれるよね。だからね、私、タクがいてくれてよかったよ。
This was no good. There was no use counting on Rimi anymore. The Rimi who was going to protect me was nowhere to be seen. I sighed and my head slumped forward. Rimi didn't belong here. Where was her home? I thought about calling her parents, but I couldn't find anything with their contact information on it in her things. The teachers at school would probably know, but it was too late in the day for that. I realized that I didn't really know that much about Remy. Where did she live? What was her family like? What was her birthday or her blood type? I didn't know anything about her. There was nothing I could do. Remy was tugging at the hem of my clothing and calling my name. What time was it? It was already dark outside. Time for dinner. But unfortunately, I didn't have anything in the house. I needed to go buy something.
何が食べたい?
When you had amnesia, did you forget about food too? Maybe you didn't know what kind of foods there were, or what they tasted like.
そうだ。私、お蕎麦が食べたい。
お蕎麦?
お蕎麦好き。
好きなの? なんで食べたことあるの?
食べたこと？ないかも。でもね、お蕎麦は好きだよ。
What was going on? Were her memories coming back? Or did she keep the memories of the old Remy's favorite foods and lose everything else? It'd be a big help to me if her memories came back, but I decided I may as well go to the supermarket to get some soba noodles.
リミ、ここで待ってて。絶対外に出ちゃダメだ。はーい。ミシ。
I tried mimicking the pose that Remy always used to do. I put one hand up to my head like a salute. Maybe this would help her remember something, I thought, but...
石？何？かっこいいね。
It didn't work at all. She was looking at me with eyes filled with wonder and excitement. I suddenly became extremely embarrassed and ran out of the room. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here for tonight. So I will be back again tomorrow night. We'll continue with the Lynette hangout event. And then we'll do some Chaos Head NOAH once again. So what is happening? Shit, I don't know, man. Wasn't really expecting this to be something that happened in the Remy route, but yeah. Alright guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.